Okay, so moving on, what's UI design? UI design is the process of creating the visual and interactive elements of an interface of a product. So as you know, UI design is designing the web interface, the interface of like a website or a mobile app. You get? So UI interface is like mainly, I'll say that is a term that is mainly used for digital products, right? So you bring graphic elements together to form your design that is supposed to encourage your users to take actions in your product. Okay, so with UI design, as a UI designer, you have to understand design principles. That way you design something that is intuitive, that your users can just see and then easily understand. You design something that guides your user to make a decision on your product. You have to be able to use colors, understand how to use colors. You know, colors have meanings, right? And in every culture, like, different colors mean different things, and colors can also what's the word, is it like cause you to feel different emotions, basically. Yes, so your understanding of how to use colors could guide you to create a good user experience. You should be able to know how to use imagery. So imagery is not just pictures, but then illustrations and icons as well. You should be good at using iconography. Like, for example, you can't go and use this one, what you can't go and use like the wheel thing that's used to represent settings, to represent home. It wouldn't work. You end up confusing your users. Yeah. And then illustrations. Do you know what illustrations are? They are like drawings, cartoonish drawings that you see on like your websites, and even some mobile app. There are some illustrations there. I think once we finish with this, I'll show you some examples. And then your normal photos, they all fall under imagery. So yeah, you should be able to communicate effectively with the images that you are using. You can't be talking about helping someone and then the picture that you are using is someone singing in the bathroom. That won't communicate your message, right? Yes. And then you can also use an icon that everybody knows that represents settings and use that icon to represent home. You end up confusing your users. So yeah, so you should be able to understand imagery so that you can effectively communicate to your users in your design. And then layout. So layout, basically, you should be able to know how to place your elements in terms of like the importance of the actions that you want your users to see, or the importance of the elements placed in your design. So for example, if I'm designing like a website, my landing page, I want my users to see like what I'm about. So my first intro is going to be like huge. You get it? The text is going to be huge. That's where hierarchy comes in. So I want my users to be able to read my main message, so I'm going to make that huge, and then I give like a small description beneath it. That means that it's not like, in as much as like I want them to see, they could either glance over or just skip it. But the main thing I want them to see, I should be able to make it bold enough for them to be able to see it as soon as they land on the landing page. Am I making sense? Okay, and typography. So typography basically influences like your visual communication style. So it's important to know which typography to use in your product. It's important to have a good understanding of typography. In that way you can communicate your visual tone, right? An example of a visual tone could be like luxury, being playful, being serious, being friendly, being professional, right? I'm sure that when you see something that is designed with luxury in mind, you can tell the difference between that and something that's designed with like an an audience of kids in mind. Yeah, the font will be different, the typography will be different.